Hello everyone. Today we are going to see another question on LeetCode, and that is find eventual safe states. So first we read the question. In a directed graph, we start at some node and every turn walk along a directed edge of the graph. If we reach a node that is terminal, that is has no outgoing directed edges, we stop. Now say our starting node is eventually safe if and only if we must eventually walk to a terminal node. More specifically, there exists a natural number k so that for any choice of where to walk, we must have stopped at a terminal node in less than k steps. Which nodes are eventually safe? Return them as an array in sorted order. So we have to return an array in sorted order, and the directed graph has n nodes with labels 0, 1 to n-1, where n is the length of the graph. The graph is given in the following form. Graph of I is a list of labels j such that I, j is a directed edge on the graph. So we will be given a two-dimensional array as input, and we have to output an array by the given constraints. And also let's see that with the help of an example. Here we can see that the first element of this graph contains 1, 2. Okay, so what this means is that 1 and 2 are connected to 0. That is, there exists a directed edge from 0 to 1 and 0 to 2. In case you don't know about directed edges and undirected edges and the basics of graphs, don't worry, I'm going to add the link in the description box. Okay, so similarly, since 2, 3 is at the second index, so that means that 1 is connected to 2 and 1 is also connected to 3, directed. Okay, similarly, 5 is present at 2, so that is why 2 is connected to 5, and so on. Okay, so this is how the graph can be made. Now, how we are going to proceed in this question, let's see what we are going to do here is that if you see, we need to output only those nodes that do not end up in a loop. That's what the question is actually asking. If you see, we start from 0, we go to 1, then from 1 we can go to 3, from 3 we can also come to 0. So this happens to be in a cycle, so that is why you don't see 0 over here. Yes, so from 1 we can go to 3, and from 3 we can come to 0, and from 0 we can come again to 1. So there also exists a cycle, and that is why 1 is also not present over here. But in case of 2, you can see that you can go to 5 and nothing else, right? So there is just one way, and from 5 you can't come back to 2 in any way. So there is not a cycle as far as 2 node is concerned, right? So you will see 2 over here. But in case of 3, again there exists a cycle. In case of 4, there is no cycle. Also in case of 5 and 6, there is no cycle, and that is why you have 2, 4, 5 and 6 as the output. Okay, so this is basically a question based on graph theory, and for that you must know depth first search and breadth first search. Don't worry if you don't know about these things. I'm going to add the link in the description box. Also I'm also going to share the intuition what depth first search means. Depth first search में क्या होता है कि we start from one node, and as we move ahead we don't explore all the nodes that are just neighbor to it. Okay, like if we start from 0, I'm going to 1, then at the same time I'm not going to access 2. Okay, I'm going to move forward. From 1 I will go to 3, then as 3 doesn't contain any other element, then I'm going to take another step. Okay, so that is how depth first search moves. We go on deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and rather than just exploring all the nodes for one point, for one node. Okay, so that is how depth first search works. I'm also going to use depth first search in this question, but there is going to be a variation. I'm also going to use an array that is color array. So why am I using this? I'm using this array to just mark some of the things. If a particular node happens to be in a cycle, then why should I check every time that it is in a cycle or not? Similarly, if a node leads to terminal, that is, we need to include it into the output array, then why do I check it each and every time? So I'm going to have a color array that is going to store that is going to be of the size of nodes, and also it is going to store that the ith node leads to a cycle or leads to a terminal or is not visited. if the value is 0, then that is not visited. If the value is 1, then it ends up in a cycle, and if the value is 2, it leads to a terminal. Okay, so that is the basic principle in this question. Yeah, so what we are going to do is that we are going to pass each and every node one by one in a helper function that is named as DFS in my code, and we are going to apply depth first search in it, and also we are going to check if the value of the node is 1 or it is 2. If the value is 1, then we are just going to return false, and we are not going to include that particular element inside the array. But if the value is 2, then we would think about it and we would continue the array and we would process it. Okay, so what I feel, in some questions, if we see the code, it is more clear. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's first see the code. In the code, first I am having int n equals to graph.length, which is nothing but telling me the number of nodes or the number of rows in this graph multi-dimensional array, and I am declaring a color array that is going to be exactly of the same length of graph, number of rows in the graph, and I'm going to declare a list of integers because that is the point of that is what I'm going to return. Okay, so I'm going to declare this, and then I'm using a for loop. As I told, I'm going to pass each node by one by one in the helper function, and if the helper function returns true, whether that is not giving in a cycle, that is leading to some termination, then we are going to add that particular node inside the answer list. Okay, and at last we are going to return answer. So first we'll see the helper function, that is DFS. We are accepting node, color array, and the graph multi-dimensional array in it. We'll come back to this condition later on. First we'll move on. When the node comes for the first time in this loop, we are going to initialize that color of node to 1. Okay, so that is inside a cycle, and when we exit the loop, we will make it to 2. Like if it doesn't end up in a cycle, then we would make this color node equals to 2. Okay, and then I'm using a for each loop where I'm going to access each and every element of this list. Like first of all, I'm going to access 1, then 2, then for some another node, for second node I'm going to use 2, 3, then 5. Okay, so this is how this for each loop is going to work. And as I told you, if I see that color of node is equals to 2, that means that it is going to be terminated somewhere. That is why I'm going to have continue statement. And if I see 1, or I'm going to recursively call this DFS function, because DFS function, yes, I'm calling it recursively, and either of this condition gets true, then we are going to return false. Why? Because that is ending up in some sort of loop, and that is why we are going to return false over here. Okay, and at last, if this for loop continues and we don't get this if condition over here, then we are going to make the value of color of node equals to 2, and at last we are going to return true. Okay, so this is how it is going to work. Also, I left this if portion over here. Now let's discuss what it is about. If I've visited a node and I've stored 0, 1 or 2 accordingly, so why should I check multiple number of times whether that is in a cycle or not? Why should I just waste my recursive cycles over here, right? So in this if condition, I'm just checking that whether that is equal to 1 or that is equals to 0. So if that is equal to 1, then this condition is going to be false, and that is why we are going to return false, and that is not going to be included in the output list. But if this is true, that means color of node is equals to 2, then we are going to include that. Okay, so that is how this function is working. Also, what I suggest is that we should take an example and we should try to get how it works. Like okay, so first we will pass 0 as I over here, and color will be initialized to 0 and graph is as it is, that is told in the question. This if condition, whether the color of node is greater than 0, no, it is equals to 0. So we move ahead, we make the color of node equals to 0, and in this case, as I told you, node is 0, so color of 0 is 1. Okay, then we start traversing each and every element of this 0th index, that is 1 and 2. So first the value of NEI is going to be 1. The value of color of node is going to be 2. No, in this case that is not the case. If color is going to be 1, no, the value of color of 1 is 0. So we are going to recursively call this DFS function for 1, and then again it is going to work, and it will be same for color of 1 will get the value of 1. Okay, then what will happen, we will move on to this index, and in this index the value of any I will get equals to 2. Like, I think you're getting what I'm trying to say here. The value of node now gets equal to 1, previously it was 0, and the value of any I gets equals to 2, because that is how the recursion works. So if the color of node is equals to 2, no, because again the color of 2 is 0, because I'm using color of 2 for the first time, right? And this condition is also not true. Then again we are going to call the recursive function, so it is going to be 2 for 2, like here 5. So then again it's going to work for 2. So color of 5, that will get equal to 1. So we have now 4 values of node. First we took 0, then 1, then 2, then 5. Now when we have 5 inside it, you can see that color of any I equals to 1, and then again we are going to pass this DFS. Okay, so when we pass this DFS, this is 5. So when we go to 5th index, that is this blank array. This blank array means what? What does it mean? Actually it means that it is not ending up in a cycle. So that is why we are going to get the color of node equals to 2 and return true. So that is why we came back here. That means that the node value when it was equals to 5, it returned true and it came back. So that is how the recursion is working. Don't worry if you don't understand this recursion. Just try to build up this recursion inside a notebook. You will get what the question is trying to say and what the code is actually doing. Okay, so this was all about this code. Thank you.